Alright, welcome back to another Monochrome Report. It is July, the beginning of July. This is part of my one-year monochrome project where I take photos in monochrome only for my personal photography. It's not really to find answers or define my style or whatever. It's more just to deepen my relationship with monochrome photography. I already know I'm going to continue to take photos of monochrome. It's just how I like to shoot. But yeah, okay, July. What can you expect out of July? So we have a bit of a problem because from the middle of July, my son's kindergarten is going to close until middle of August. That means I have to spend more time with him, which means less time taking photos of anything else than my son or whatever we are going to do. And I still want to do some street portraits, which I haven't done last time, but I don't know when I get to go and do that. Because look, this is where I live. This is my hood. Not many people around. I can't just leave my house, go to a coffee shop and see hundreds of people to photograph. No, I have to actually drive into the city. But honestly, I like this so much more. The countryside has so much to offer, which is also going to be a bit of a focus of this report, by the way, because I'm continuing a project here where I photograph a Marksman club. And I've been doing this since 2023 or 24. And this year, the women in the club, they are celebrating their 50th anniversary. It's a big deal. Women were not allowed to be in these Marksman clubs, so they have an interesting history. And in September, I'm going to take some portraits of them. But next weekend, they're all going to go to Hannover, where an annual, is it every year? I think it's every year. The biggest Schützenfest, Marksmanship festival, is in Hannover, but only the clubs that are in the middle of their anniversary year are allowed to go there. I will film some behind the scenes of taking photos of them, but the photos are going to end up in color in the end, or whatever I'm going to do with the photos. But for this report, I'm going to convert them into monochrome, maybe try to take some photos with monochrome in mind, but just know that the photos are not going to be as strong as my other monochrome photos, because if you don't take photos with monochrome in mind, it really shows, I think. You can't just convert a color photo into monochrome. It doesn't work like that. Yeah, that's basically the plan for July. I have no idea how I can make time for anything else, but we will see. As always, see you at the end to look at all the photos in detail. And yeah, enjoy the vlogs. Bye bye.
Wir haben Helmut vergessen! Ja, da muss man das.
Monochrome Report update. It is the middle of July and today is my son's birthday and we are here at this amusement park and I'm taking photos in color this time. Yes, I'm cheating, but I think I can make an exception because it's my son's birthday and also who wants to see monochrome amusement park photos. So yeah, I brought with me the GR4, the regular GR4 with the color sensor and this tiny flash. And I'm using cinema green, saturation all the way to the max, and it's kind of fun to look at colors again. Yeah, I think for like daily life photography, monochrome works really well, but for these special occasions like birthday parties, I think I want to remember them in color, because if I show these photos my son, I think he will appreciate the color photos more. So that's a little bit of a difference that I noticed. Monochrome update. I'm in the city center and I'm feeling demotivated, uninspired. I feel like I need to get something off my chest, speak to you directly about my feelings because I don't want to kid myself. I just became a father again. My daughter and my son, they are like at the center of my life. I spend every day with them. I work every day so I can provide. I have a lot of stress because of that as well. Had some fights with my wife and her mother and some family issues. Maybe it's getting too personal, but let's just say no family is perfect and mine isn't either. But it makes it very hard to concentrate on producing this regular content, this series I wanted to do and I still want to do, and I'm going to continue doing it. But instead of walking around the city talking into the camera saying like, oh, today I'm going to shoot this and oh, this is what I learned, I also want to share when I'm not doing so well. I mean, I'm doing well, but the thing I want to talk about here, sorry I'm rambling, I don't know how to talk to the camera anymore. The thing I want to talk about is how, and I've been in this situation before and I thought I got over it and I think I'm over it, but this is new. So basically I think I'm falling out of love with my city, with Hamburg. Since I started street photography or photographing in general, I always have been photographing in Hamburg, in this city. This is the city I grew up in. Well, I was born in Japan, but my parents moved to Hamburg when I was 1 year old. So I consider myself a Hamburg local. But as you might know or remember, during COVID, my wife and I, we bought a house. We moved out of the city into the countryside, which to be honest was the right move. I don't have any regrets. I love the countryside. I might even love it more than the city or city life. And then after COVID, I started to miss the city and I went back into the city more often. And I did get passionate about street photography in my hometown again. And I thought I had a new perspective because not being able to go to a coffee shop, to take public transport, or even just stepping out of the house and immediately being surrounded by strangers, that just doesn't happen anymore where I live. So I started to appreciate city life again because I was missing out. But at the same time, I also started some personal projects in the countryside and taking a closer look into myself, into my identity. Being born in Japan, but raised in Germany, so I'm half German, half Japanese. Never really German when I'm here, never really Japanese when I'm in Japan. So me exploring the countryside and all the traditions that are here in North Germany, getting into contact with other Germans and German clubs and groups of people, communities that I find interesting but are totally foreign to me and to most Hamburg people as well. They don't know what's going on outside of Hamburg. Made me want to explore photography more on a personal level, and street photography without any goals to me just doesn't feel that personal anymore. And one more factor that contributed to this feeling is or was that the people in the countryside are just so much nicer and more real to you, and I really appreciate people who are real. And when I come back into the city, I see coldness, I see fakeness. I see people who pretend to be happy but they aren't. I see people that pretend they are something that they aren't, and it just gets tiring seeing through the bullshit. Not being able to just enjoy being present on the street, because when I'm present on the street I see all these things, and this makes me resent people from Hamburg a bit. It's kind of like Berlin. I really hate Berlin. I will never live in Berlin. I used to like Berlin, but not anymore. Every time I go to Berlin, I'm already looking forward going back home. And I'm starting to not like my hometown, Hamburg, that much anymore, which is sad because I still love Hamburg as a place where I grew up in. I spent a lot of time outside, not only doing photography, but also being a street skater for a long time and skating the streets of Hamburg every day. Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to share. Just that I currently don't really enjoy doing street photography in my city or street photography in general, because there's so many more meaningful things around me, like my family, like I said in the beginning. For example, right now I'm feeling like I'm missing out by not being at home. Because I have to be out here, collect photos for my monochrome report or create something to show you at the end of this video. I haven't even done any street portraits yet because I don't even like the people I'm seeing, and that's very bitter sounding, and that's not how I feel in general, but I just don't care about people at this moment. I just care about my daughter, my son, my wife, my mother, my brothers, my family, and being able to see them every day and not strangers. And I shouldn't feel guilty for that because that's totally normal. But at the same time, I have this YouTube channel. Not that I feel obligated to keep this channel running, because as you hopefully are realizing, I'm only doing what I want to do on this channel, and this series has no sponsor, so I'm not gaining anything out of it. It's for my own entertainment and growth, and I just enjoy sharing the process, and I feel like I also learn a lot because I have this pressure to perform. But there's still this pressure to perform. So just wanted to be open about it. I may not even have any good photos to show at the end. This is me excusing myself. All right, let's continue. July Monochrome Report update. It is the 25th of July and I'm here taking photos for my Marksman Club project again. Today they are shooting down a wooden bird, which they do every year, and then whoever shoots the bird down is going to be the new king for the rest of the year. And I started to shoot in color first, obviously because the whole project is in color, but then later I switched to monochrome, and this time I actually like the monochrome. What I see in my camera, the monochrome preview, I like the results a little better. But because it's very dark and I have to use the flash, monochrome just pops more than the color, probably. I don't know. And I think I'm going to stay in monochrome for my preview. Because in the end, when I use a monochrome preview on my EVF or LCD screen, it helps me see light better, and I just like looking at contrast and monochrome. I get easily distracted by colors because I'm not used to looking at a color preview. I don't know, I feel like I can see contrast better in monochrome. So, oh man, it's hot. I have to go back because they're about to shoot down this part of the bird, which is the last part. Okay, I see you. I need caffeine. I'm so tired. Okay. Welcome to the end section of this report. As always, I'm going to take a look at all the photos I took in July. Here is Miro, my favorite visual board I use to visualize my photos. And here you can see an overview of all the photos I have taken this year. And at the very bottom, we have the July photos. So yeah, I want to just go through them, share a few stories about the photos, things I learned, things I did wrong, because there's a lot that I also do wrong, which is the point of this, to learn from my mistakes and to grow and deepen my relationship with monochrome photography, even though it feels like I'm married to monochrome photography already. I should quickly address the fact that I failed again to take some street portraits. I really want to dedicate an episode to street portraiture, but as I told you in the middle of this video, there was only this one day where I was able to go into the city and I blew it. And I had no other chance. And I know that inside me, deep down, there's someone who doesn't want to do this challenge because it's out of my comfort zone. And I know that that is also part of why I don't have any photos to show. Because on that one day where I was out, I just couldn't do it. I got frustrated because I didn't do what James told me, which is go for the first person you see. But then I started to tell myself that, hey, it's because I'm focusing on my family right now. I have these family fights also going on. Like, how can I be this happy, outgoing person when I'm not that in this moment? So I know I'm excusing myself here, but I will still do it. And if I don't have any street portraits to show at the end of this year, then I still want to do it. I didn't do it. I'm sorry, but I got to go out to shoot, work on my personal projects, which was also not that easy because my wife has to be on board. She has to take care of our 2 children when I'm out. So yeah, it's tough. And then you know, I haven't really slept a lot. So anyways, let's look at some photos and end this report already. Okay, so Marksman Festival in Hannover. Here we arrived, and I like this photo because it shows the past and the present. Even though the present looks very much like the past, kind of. Because nothing has changed in terms of the uniforms, or not much. But these people in the background are other clubs that were attending the big festival, or the big march. And I just spotted this figure here, this statue, and I thought, hey, juxtaposition. You know, there's some history here connected, maybe. I don't know. Then we have some travel photos, us in the bus. I like these moments of resting or taking a cigarette break. I brought my flash with me. I also brought a manifocus lens with me for these shallow depth of field 3D pop images. But mostly I was using a zoom lens with a flash. There were also some nice moments here, or cute moments, I should say. She brought her knitting set here, and she fixed her dress, and also some other guys' buttons she fixed. So they came prepared. Yeah, then I took a big group photo, but before I did that, sometimes I like to take some photos before the actual group photo, and here I just pointed the camera down, and I wanted to see how this looks on camera, and I really like this one because it might not be the most flattering picture, but it's kind of like a fun snapshot, and the person in the middle here is the former king, and the two persons on the left and right are his adjutant, I think is how you say it in English. So for them, this is also a photo to remember their roles during this time. Then we have some waiting shots here. I kind of like this one. I wanted to do some photos of details, but I have a bunch of those detail shots already. I still like this one here. Then it also rained a lot. And in color, this is also very cool because everything is red. Even the umbrellas were red. But because I'm converting them for this report, they are monochrome. And I think because of the flash, it still works. And yeah. Okay, then we have a mirror shot. Here's me taking a photo with my Nikon Z7. And then the last shot is just one of the guys sleeping in the bus. And obviously I took a bunch more photos than this. Also a lot of photos of the youth club, which I don't want to show here because they are, minors and didn't get consent from their parents. But also I don't want to show too much of this project because they are destined for something more than just a YouTube video, or I hope I can do something out of it, maybe a book or a zine. So I don't want to overshare. But because I'm reporting here on the images I took, I kind of have to show you some photos here. Okay, daily life photos. I went kite flying with my son. My mother gifted him this fly kite here, and yeah, it was big fun experiencing that for the first time with my son. He loves it and he wants to go out and do that every day. But on this day there was very little wind, as you can probably tell by the video clips. Then we have a car shot of my small little beautiful cute daughter. She sleeps a lot, so there's not much action. I have lots of pictures of her sleeping. And then July, and also in June and July, we're all about going to dentists, multiple dentists. Here's where my son is getting his teeth scanned. All photos here, GR4 monochrome, best camera for parents.
Basically, my son was supposed to get one tooth pulled out in January this year, but no dentist wanted to do the procedure that I wanted to do, or I wanted to have for him. There's a little update today. He got treatment with gas, so he was aware the whole time, and it was no problem. So thankfully, everything is sorted.
Yeah, it was a fight. So these kind of things are also going on while I have to take some photos, So it's a lot of stressful things going on in the background. Probably my favorite photo of my son in July is this one here. Him at the piano. Yeah, I like this one a lot. Some countryside photos. This is something that people in the countryside, especially when they are farmers, they like to do this, which is basically announcing that there's going to be a marriage soon. So I saw this on my way back after kindergarten. I could do a whole project on these things because just yesterday I saw another one, a new one. And I'm just taking photos of them because it's a fun little detail of the German countryside.
Okay, and then we get to the bird shooting day at the Marksman Club. I decided to start with this one here because you can see the bird, you can see some gunshots here. And here I did a little mistake. And the mistake I did was that my flash was set to TTL, which is fine. But the mistake was that I didn't adjust my ISO. I left it at around 400 ISO, which meant that the background was very dark. And I wanted some more background light. And for that, you have to raise your ISO. But with the Nikon Z system, when you use TTL flash, the viewfinder doesn't show you the true exposure. It just shows you a very bright view of what's going on, but not the exposure that you set the camera to. So a lot of these photos ended up being a bit too dark. For example, here, like it doesn't need to be this dark. Here I did a little experiment. I put my flash next to this window here and pointed it to these guys. And then I wanted to see how this looks, maybe a bit too playful. And when the flash hit everything in the room, then it looks kind of cool. Like these scenes here where you see the environment also. Or this one here. For that, I like the look of flash because it brings up all the details. And also what I noticed while sequencing these photos is that I had this photo here, which shows the man's side and the women's side here on the right. And you also have here two guns. So you have this dualism going on. It's also divided in the middle. And then I remembered that I have these photos here. Again, the men and the women are divided. Then you have the restrooms. Then you have ladies and gentlemen. Like divided by these arrows. It's a theme that I could maybe play with in the future. Here I also used flash outside, which was not necessary, but my flash was on, so I used it. I think it still looks fairly natural. But here, the photos where they are all like waiting for the bird to fall down or see who's going to be the next king or queen, these are always fun. But it was very difficult getting a photo where no one is looking into my camera because maybe it's something typical to Germans, or nowadays in general, I think people expect to pose in front of the camera, right? So it's very hard to get these natural reactions. This one is a natural reaction. That's why I really like this photo. And you can also see a little bit of information here. Schießstand means this is like the shooting area. I don't know how to translate it. And then this one I also really like because the women here, they look very like, I don't know, heroic or dignified or proud or strong. And the light is good. But unfortunately here, she is not really, you cannot really see her face. And here she on the right, she's looking at me, which is fine. But these two on the left, they have this strong pose, which I really liked. But it was very hard to get that quick without being noticed. Oh yeah, and then the new queen is her. This is when everyone was celebrating. And here you can see how bright the flash was and how dark the background was. And this is the moment where the new king was decided who's going to be the next king. And here's a moment between the new king and the new queen. And everyone comes down to hug the new king and the new queen and congratulate each other. And it can get emotional. It usually gets emotional because here, for example, she was the former queen. And I noticed that she started crying. I kind of missed the moment where she was like doing this. But you can still tell that she is having this sad face. And I noticed that, yeah, she is sad because a very important year for her ended. She was the previous queen and now she's not anymore. So she's happy, but also she's kind of sad. So I was happy to see that. And that is the end of this series. I went out with my family a lot, but these photos are just for me and my family, so you will not see them here. Okay, so what did I learn or what did I not learn? There isn't much, and to be honest, I wrote down these takeaways right before filming this. So yeah, I'm tired. I'm still tired because I really don't get enough sleep these days. It's not because of our daughter, because she doesn't really cry a lot. It's because of my son, who I have to sleep with now. And he likes to rest on my stomach, and he also wakes up a lot. So yeah, I am tired. But I am not tired of monochrome. I really do love monochrome photography. It's not surprising, to be honest, because even when I started this challenge, I felt confident and comfortable. But I'm realizing more and more, the more I do this, and the more of these reports I do, that this is something that is going to stay with me. It just feels right. It just feels... It feels like how photography should feel to me personally. Okay, and then off-camera flash for better plasticity. It's basically what you saw at the end with the photos of the Marksman Club, the ladies celebrating. Yeah, it's how the images render when you use flash. And I was using it from a slightly higher angle, off-camera flash, so it's a little bit directed from this angle. Yeah, I just like how it looks sometimes. And last but not least, the GR4 monochrome is still awesome. And I'm so glad that it's my daily life camera to document my family. Every time I get a nice photo of my son or my daughter or my wife or my family, even just looking back on the screen, it just feels so good. Because I know that if it looks good on the screen, it will look even better when I'm editing the photos. And I don't even have to do a lot of editing. All of these photos... Oh no, I should say all of the GR4 monochrome photos I show in these reports, there's almost no editing done. A little bit of tone curve editing, highlight reduction maybe. But I don't use any of the filters. Even in camera I just use the standard filter. And now it's August 18 already. And I took some more amazing photos that I can't wait to show you for the next report. So yeah, very happy. But still, can I wait for the GR4X monochrome? Then my life will be complete. So these were some of the images I took in July. Sorry that I took so long to make this video, but yeah, I hope I'm excused, because try having 2 kids and run a YouTube channel and do house stuff. And a lot of people warned me that having 2 children is going to be harder, way harder than having 1. But I was not prepared in what ways. So yeah, I will leave it at that. Next month, or this month, August, should be better. My son is back in kindergarten. Yeah! So yeah, see you at the next report. And take care. Enjoy the rest of your summers. If you still have vacation, then you lucky bastard. Thanks for watching. And I see you soon. Ciao. Bye bye. Oyasumi.